The Los Angeles Clippers.
What?
And I'll tell you why these are
What?
interesting.
I'm
Okay.
ready. Okay.
So because of one man, one name, James Harden. We're about to see something that we never really get the chance to see.
Okay.
We're going to see a guy who's went from being one of the most high usage guys in the entire NBA, who for the last 3, 4 years has gone away from that because of the guys he's playing with, become more of a facilitator, less of a scorer. But now we're going to get to see him given the chance to go back to being that high production, high shooting volume type of player. And we're going to see, does he really still have it? And I find that very, very interesting.
Like the way you described the change to his game, just like makes me know what the next chapter is, Ronan. Like he went from a high volume shooter to then less efficient, so he leaned into his playmaking, and then he tried a little bit here and there, and he was still inefficient in Philly. But okay, at least he can still play make. I don't think he's got it, man. I think we're gonna continue to see him go down, but I think they're interesting from the fact that they are a dying star. Somehow Paul George, made his way out of that black hole. Kawhi Leonard, this is the funny thing is talk all day about, Kawhi is not healthy enough. He's not playing enough. Dude played 62 games last season. So, okay, maybe there's a little bit too much being made of the time missed, even though it's still 18 games. That's still 20 games rather. So do I really want to see Harden take more shots? Sure. Do I think he still has it? I don't. I mean, the free throw rate's gone down. His field goal percentage at the rim's gone down. His rim rate's gone down. His ability to get in the paint, like you can just see it. He just can't really elevate the way he used to. He can't really explode the way he used to. But I mean, if we get to see him take 8 step back threes a game, then maybe we're working with something. If we get MVP Harden back, Kawhi Leonard plays 72 games, and maybe we're talking about something interesting. But this is a dying star, and this is going to be a brutal season, I think, for the Clippers.
I agree. That's the most likely outcome, but they have no choice but to lean on Harden. They pay like giving them that 2 year, $70 million extension. Like no one else was going to match that money, but they knew they had no choice but to keep him because of what they had already given up for him and what they knew they were losing in Paul George. But like you looked at like the breakdown, like his last year in Houston, 1920, his last full year with Houston, he was at 22.3 field goal attempts, 12.4 threes, 11.8 free throw attempts. He averaged 34 and 7.5 assists. Then in his time with the Nets, he averaged 16.3 shots per game, 7.6 free throw attempts. 76ers drops again, 14 shots a game, 7.5 free throw attempts a game. Last year with the Clippers, 11.4 field goal attempts, 6.8 threes, and just 4.8 free throws a game. 16.6 points, 8.5 assists. They just lost 26 and a half shots per game in Paul George and Russell
Yeah,
Westbrook.
yeah.
I think there's a very legitimate case to make that 7 of those shots go to James Harden. Chris Dunn's not taking a load of shots. Derek Jones Jr. is not taking a load of shots. Mo Bamba's not taking a load of shots. Neither is Nick Batum. Like, Harden is going to be put in the position that he's going to need to take, especially the games that Kawhi Leonard is not there. He's going to be taking 20 shots a game. And even when Kawhi is there, the two of them, like, it wouldn't be shocking if the two of them combined for 20 attempts a game because they just don't have the scores and shooting outside of that. You got Norm Powell, but for the most part, I don't think Norm Powell and Harden will see the floor together much other than maybe in closing lineups.
You know, you're you're talking me into it a little bit because Harden. The one thing that I'll say about Harden is that for all the flack he gets, like he's adapted to the places he's been. Like his role in Brooklyn was to be a facilitator primarily. They had the offensive weapons, the scores, the on ball scores, and Harden's greatest skill out of all of them was to make the offense run. And same thing in Philly. And you had a young guy in Maxey who needed a point guard to kind of help him along, and Harden did that. I don't think Harden got enough credit for sacrificing in that way. And I think part of his struggles you do have to attribute to, losing a lot of your on-ball responsibility, like changing your mindset from like I'm gonna take a shot no matter what, and if someone's open, fine, let's do that. But like he was really the only, he's the only option in Houston. So if we see that would be a first in a long time, because I think everyone's assumed that Harden has fallen off, and I think for good reason. We've seen that, but his perimeter game is still there, and his perimeter game is what made him an MVP. And if he's gonna be able to take 20 shots a game, I mean, he is gonna put up numbers. And the efficiency of it, that's questionable, but there's something to be said for a guy like him to be able to take that many shots and just have the freedom to do so. That would maybe make things a lot easier for him mentally, just to like get back in that zone. I don't it's not impossible. I mean, you're not preaching impossibilities here. Like I think that definitely could happen. And what did the Clippers look like if Kawhi does play 70 games and Harden is like still like a 28, 30 point per game scorer now that you just handed him half the shots? Because nobody else on the team's vying for it. It's just Kawhi and Harden. Like no one else you really have to feed. And Powell, he can run free off the bench. So sure, maybe things got a little bit more simple.
Yeah, I mean, like it's just the situation. Like he's going to be put in the position to deliver the numbers that he used to. Whether he can do it or not, we'll see. I mean, we're going to see the whole thing about I'm the system. We're going to see that come back around next year. It's either going to be in a positive light, as in Clippers fans saying, "Yeah, maybe this guy really is system," or it's going to be in the negative light where, yeah, he's the system, but oh wait, he just sucks at it. So like we're going to see that come back, whether it's going to be in a positive or negative sense. It's just interesting that he is now like without doubt the second option. There's no one even close to him as the second option, and with the health of Kawhi Leonard, he could be very consistently the number one option by a mile too. So it's just going to be very interesting to see him be put back into position to take so many shots and see if he still has that ability to put up those points.
Yeah. I like one interesting thing for them. They have a couple fun, I like the random players, right? I did not know they had Kai Jones. I was a big Kai Jones fan out of Charlotte. Um, Dude, I think just had some issues, fitting into that locker room and like just mentally with himself. And I've seen interviews on it, like it seems like he's done a lot of personal work. But he is a guy that I thought had like crazy athletic potential as a rim running big. And he's gonna have a lot of fun next if he gets some run next to James Harden. Like, forget I don't know how Mo Bamba keeps getting contracts, by the way. Like, why is he still in the NBA? He literally does nothing. Nothing. Like, I hope he does not get minutes. If we can get some minutes for Kai Jones, if we can also see Kevin Porter Jr., maybe he makes a comeback. So maybe there's a couple storylines on the Clippers besides Harden and if he sinks or swims. But Kai Jones, Kevin Porter, maybe that's their bench mob. James Harden, I don't know if I can get behind it fully, but I do see the vision.
Oh,
I do
it's
see the
not about
vision.
getting behind it. It's just the fact that it is happening. Stop. You don't have. I'm not making you say it's going to work or it's not, but it's happening. It's going to happen.
Yeah, yeah. It's gonna be sink or swim. I think it's boom or bust. If they lean into this James Harden experience and he delivers, this is gonna be one of the greatest, you know, comebacks of an MVP in a while. It'll be similar to the Russell Westbrook experience where it's like, is he still that MVP level player? Can he still deliver at that level? And I think we've pretty much close to answered it for Harden. Like we know that he's that, still an elite facilitator. He's still an elite offensive player, but he can't take that many shots. If he shuts everybody up, that would be very impressive. I don't think anyone is expecting that at all from him.
No, no. I think I agree. I'm definitely in the camp that it's not going to work, but I am definitely intrigued to see how it goes down.
Yeah. All right, I'm not laughing anymore. That's fair. He changed my mind a little bit on it. I thought that was kind of a laughable answer, but I see the vision. Maybe I'll turn on a couple quarters of LA Clippers next season.